Chapter 4 of French for Reading. Let's start off with talking about some more regular verbs, and this time we're going to look at the IR verbs. Now, what do we mean by a regular verb? A regular verb is a verb that follows the same paradigm over and over again, and the stem doesn't change. The only thing that changes are the endings in the conjugation. So we've been focusing, when we look at ER verbs, parler and aimer, those are regular verbs because the PARL stays the same or the AIM stays the same, and it's just the endings that change. But verbs like avoir and être are irregular because the stem changes and the endings might not be what we expect them to be. So now we're going to look at the regular IR verbs. And we're going to start off with finir, which means to finish. And the forms are je finis with an is ending, tu finis with an is ending, and il finit with an it ending in the singular. So is, it are the endings. And these endings, SST, we'll see quite often in a lot of verbs for the first person singular. Now, for the plural, the endings get long. They all have the ISS in it. Ison, ise, and is. So they have the ONS, the EZ, and ENT ending like we saw before, and they form the verbs nous finissons, we finish, vous finissez, you finish, and ils finissent is they finish. So this is how IR verbs generally function, except a lot of the IR verbs are irregular. There might be as many irregular IR verbs as there are regular verbs, but apart from the ER verbs, this is about as regular as you're going to get. Now let's look at the third class of verbs, and sometimes they're called the third class of verbs, sometimes they're called RE verbs, and they tend to be pretty regular. Almost all of them, if not all of them, will change stems. So we're not going to see, we can't look at any one and say, aha, this is the regular pattern that we're going to see. So let's look at mettre, which means to put or to place. And the endings that we're going to use are SST, or sometimes that T drops out. There's just nothing. And for metre, the stem is MET. We had METT in the infinitive, but here it's METS, je mets, tu mets, il met. So they're all pronounced the same, but we've got the SST ending. Now for the plural, the stem goes to METT, like the infinitive. In fact, the infinitive and the first person plural form almost always have the same stem. Nous mettons, vous mettez, il met are the plural forms. So note that the stem changes for the plural, and we'll see that quite often. So these verbs have two stems. Sometimes we'll see that some verbs have three stems. Now, something nice in French is that if you have a verb mettre that you conjugate, any verb that's based on permettre or mettre will have the same conjugations, just with a different prefix. So, for example, the word permettre, to permit, that's where we get our verb to permit. Per plus mit is the mettre. That'll be conjugated just like mettre, except it'll have per in front. Je permets, tu permets, il permet, nous permettons, vous permettez, il permet. Promettre is another mettre form. Compromettre is to compromise. Promettre is to promise. Compromettre is to compromise. They're all conjugated like mettre, except they've got the per in front, the pro in front, or the pro in front. So when we look at a table of verb conjugations, we're just going to look at mettre, how to conjugate mettre, and for permettre, you'll go to mettre and just stick per in front of it. Now let's look at one irregular verb. We'll be tossing in irregular verbs very regularly. And we're going to look at the verb partir, to leave, to part, to depart, to leave. It has the same endings as mettre, except we've got a different stem. For the singular, it's par, je pars, tu pars, il part. In the plural, the stem is part. Nous partons, vous partez, il part. So as you can see, there's a lot of similarities between some verbs, but there's differences too. And so you'll start seeing these patterns, but you'll be saying, aha, what are the stems that I'm looking for? So with partir, we have both a par stem and a part stem. So let's do an exercise. Here are 5 sentences to translate. When this video is over, write down your translations and then go back to the next video.